Hey traders and investors, it's Serge Berger here. What I'm going to look at today is a topic that I've been getting a ton of questions on and been spending a lot of time on, sort of almost an area of expertise for me over the past couple of years, and that's really the new technology stocks. Maybe we'll have to coin them new internet stocks, whatever you want to call them. Stocks I'm talking about is stuff like Pandora, Twitter, and of course Facebook. Okay, and what I want to talk about today is I want to mention these stocks and discuss the unbelievably great opportunities that we keep getting in trading these stocks, both through just the equity itself or via the options table. Okay, so there are several, really interesting characteristics in these stocks. For one, there is a ton of eyeballs on them. Okay, the Twitter IPO, the Facebook IPO, many other IPOs in that space do have a lot of eyeballs on them. So there's a lot of news flow, and news flow creates opportunity in the sense that there's enough. As long as there's enough liquidity and enough respect for technical levels or just levels of support and resistance in general. Okay, we don't have to necessarily call them technical. So that is something that these stocks do very, very well. But the most important thing to understand about these stocks, just like for many other stocks, by the way, is that you need to know the important news events. You need to understand when these guys have earnings, understand when they have investor days, understand when there's some sort of litigation around, or even if there's an activist investor of some sort starting to all of a sudden appear in these stocks. There hasn't been any meaningful action on that part yet, but you have stocks like Facebook and like Twitter and like Pandora and many others, okay, that they just act so unbelievably well. And the best thing out of the entire positive things about these stocks is that the stock doesn't they move so well, but not too much and not too little, that it doesn't take a lot of movement for you to make a lot of money. Okay, there are wonderful trades one can do with credit spreads, debit spreads, and options. You can even sell far out of the money calls and puts on these stocks, and again, you can trade the equity itself. So if we look at Twitter, for example, right now, okay, the key and the most important thing with Twitter was not to do anything, or definitely not buy it ahead of these earnings. Okay, it just wasn't a good thing to do. I know some people shorted it, and that's great. To me, that too is it was a risky trade unless you hedged it somehow. But with Twitter now, we have an opportunity in the stock where really it snapped its support level here. It snapped at 61.8% Fibonacci retracement area that I discussed with my clients and Trade Alert subscribers. So really the stock is nowhere right now. So now there are opportunities to either short the stock, okay, within a time frame of 1, maybe 2 weeks, with defined risk, because you have very defined risk, or you can actually do something in terms of options. There are lots of juicy call spreads and put spreads out of the money, credit spreads that can be sold against these stocks. I'll be talking more about this. This is a very important topic and great opportunity to make money. If you have questions in the meantime, please let me know. But I'm going to be focusing more on this. Maybe we'll even start a Trade Alert product around this kind of stuff. Hope this makes sense. Take care.